This is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a map called Destruction of Cars Hard. And yes, there is a Destruction of Cars Medium and a Destruction of Cars Light map, but we're taking a look at Hard because I think Hard was the most interesting of the three maps. And when you first load up the map, it looks like there's nothing at all, and this is just a completely flat area. But if we drive forward a little bit, you'll realize that is not the case because we have a big old ramp right here, which we need to slow down for. And with this ramp being as big as it is, I think we'll get to close to 200 miles per hour at our peak before we hit the jump at the bottom. But the jump is also very big, so I'm sure we'll lose some speed from the 200 I estimated to the end of the jump. Yeah, so we're going to drop to about 150 miles per hour at the end of the jump. And there we go, flying, and we got some markers to kind of try to figure out how far we flew. But I'm more interested in what happens after the flight. What kind of damage are we going to get? So we got 16 times slow-mo, and a really harsh hit on the rear, and it is now using its rocket thrusters to go a little bit farther. No, wait. No, my fuel tank just ruptured and is now on fire. My bad. Yeah, that's not good when your fuel tank is on fire. Unless it's a Pinto. If it's a Pinto, then it's a feature, and that's okay. And you can tell, we had some momentum going because we were just scraping along the ground now, and we're going to eventually come to a stop. And I like how the mirror was just perfectly in sync with me, and you can even see the fire on the mirror based on how it landed. That's really cool. I've never seen the mirror end up in an angle like that where you can see fire on the mirror. Like, I knew the mirrors had reflections, just I've never seen fire on it. Anyways, let's go ahead and do that jump one more time, but this time we're gonna use something fast. Really fast. And I go to the bus. It's always funny, right? I do something really fast. Well, use the bus, but it's true. The hero version of the Wentworth DT40L is probably the fastest vehicle for something like this. We just gotta be really careful at the start to make sure it doesn't seesaw or get damaged, and then we floor it, and before you know it, over 200 miles per hour, over 300 miles per hour, and I can't even count higher than that. We are going fast, fast, fast. All right, so not quite over 300, we only got to 260, and whoa, whoa, whoa. That was odd. We had a ton of lag right there, and just like that, it's gone. I don't know what that was about, but now we can focus on the impact, which has actually not done as much damage to the bus as I was expecting. I was expecting it to be nearly flat after that, but it still has some shape to it. And the engine is falling out. It's trying to get back in, but you can't reattach an engine like that. Oh, well, apparently we just fell off of the actual map, and now we're going to the grid down below. This might cause some real damage to the bus now, because this is from a huge height, and it's a smashing impact. That flattened it a lot more. That's about what I expected it to be like after the jump. But I guess for the jump, we just had so much forward momentum. I tried to use the rocket and just shot off to who knows where. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that was funny. But what I was saying is we had so much forward momentum, and then we just kind of slid instead of crashing, so that's why I didn't get that damage. Anyways, I'm changing vehicles real quickly so we can go ahead and get to the other area down below, because this is the easiest way I know of to get down here. It just so happens to be also the most violent way to get down here. A lot of the time, though, those are the same thing, I've noticed. Got a nice impact there. And once again, there goes the engine. I am forming a habit of losing engines, apparently, because that one is just shot out of here and gone. And that's actually quite a shame, because looking at this car, if the engine was still in here, I bet it could drag itself along a little bit. It would not do well, but I think it might be able to put down a little bit of power if the engine was still in it. Oh well. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and reset this just so we can drive around down here. So over here, we have a bunch of objects we can crash into. The first of which is pretty cool because it has a little jump, and then you smash into a block that's floating in the air. So little jump, smash. And I did that in full speed, but after seeing it happen like that, I do want to see it happen in slow-mo with a faster vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the vehicle back and swap it for the drag version of the Bruckle Moonhawk. And this thing should be able to go over 100 miles per hour very, very easily, but I want to give it just a little bit more room, just in case. And it's reached 70 miles per hour in reverse, so this is more than enough room. I just got to get it lined up and ready to go. And we're going to go ahead and smash into that block at a high speed with slow motion, so you can really see what happened, because I was a little disappointed with that last crash, to be honest with you. So 155 miles per hour, hit the ramp, and then hit the block. Ooh, which is able to almost completely separate the body of the vehicle from the frame. And basically, once again, yeah, the engine has found a way to fly out of the vehicle. Sure, it's still inside the frame ever so slightly, but it's so far away from the rest of the vehicle, it's as good as gone. It almost looks like we had a limo. And I'm going to try to change vehicles very frequently so we get a good variety in all the crashes. So we're going to go to the track day version of the ETKK series. And once again, I want some more distance between me and the things I'm going to crash into. So we're going to drive in this direction for a bit, and that should be good. And this time I'm going to save the spot, so that way when I replace the vehicle, which I know I'll be doing soon, I don't have to worry about going backwards again. I've done it twice. Twice is more than enough. So anyways, you got some blocks over here you could try to fit through. You can't fit through this one with this car. No way, no how. You just end up crashing into both sides at once and completely ruining the vehicle. The only question I have is, does it look like it's pointed as you would expect at the front? And yes, it does. You can see the front right there is very clearly pointed outwards some, so that worked. Great. Now I'm going to do this again, but we're going to go to the left of where we just crashed because that one's a little bit wider and we might be able to fit through there. It's going to be a really tight fit, so we'll see what happens here. Using lots of slow-mo. Will it fit? Very, very close, but not quite. If we went slow, we could probably fit through there. And once again, we lost an engine. How am I losing engines on almost every crash? I don't know. But yeah, we just got caught a little bit, which kind of mangled and destroyed the vehicle. Obviously, it's not going to drive since the engine's out of it, but there's a look at the damage before we reset the vehicle and replace it with something else. So what is that something else? Well, I figured we got a nice track day version of a vehicle. How about we go with a very normal version of the I series? Nice contrast of vehicles here. Now, actually, I did skip something we can crash into. It's not easy to see because it's really, really small, but you see there's a red line leading up to it. So we just follow the red line, and then we'll be able to hit the thing, and it'll get our car flipped over onto its side most of the time. So has it flipped my car successfully? Yes, it has. We are now onto our roof. And I would say that worked perfectly. Although we need to stop. I'm hitting the brakes, but obviously it's not going to do anything. And we were not able to stop. We are now going to once again fall off of the map. And this car is going to be obliterated. This time, I'm not going to use slow-mo though, so you can just see the obliteration happen in real time. Don't blink. Did you blink? Even if you didn't blink, it just happened so fast, it's hard to see. And somehow, with that crash, the engine is still in the car. I did not expect that one bit. I guess that's the high quality work of the ETKI series. Anyways, time to swap cars. How about we go with a Gravel Grand Marshal and we're going to get the Police Package Edition. And for this one, we're just going to slam into a wall. And that's pretty much it. Although the line going up to the wall is offset. So it's like a small overlap crash test like they would do with the IIHS kind of test. So here we go. Good amount of vehicle is overlapping. And there is the crash. A nice reasonable crash. Police car is now immobilized because the rear drive shaft has broken. There's a look at the damage on this side. And then here is a look at the damage on the other side, which doesn't look nearly as bad. And yes, the sirens do still work. Next vehicle up is going to be a Hirochi Sunburst, and it really doesn't matter which one here. I just picked one that was in the middle of the pack, so I know it has a decent amount of speed. And then we're going to go crash into the triangle-shaped object over here. And this one I'm going to once again not use slow-mo, so you better not blink once more because boom, there was the impact, which has completely immobilized the car. It cannot drive one bit. The engine's broken, the drive shaft's broken, the axles are broken, everything's broken basically. So now once again switching vehicles to the Autobello Pickle. Get the street tune version because I gotta go fast for this next crash. And this should be a good car for this next crash because it's another triangle shaped object we're gonna crash into. And with no engine in the front, it should collapse pretty easily from this impact. For this one, we're going to use slow-mo here. 8 times, 16 times slow-mo. And that was quite nice, actually. I really like the way the fender and the door and the wheel just kept going, where the rest of the car just stopped. That looked funny. Although, unfortunately, we are stuck. I am trying to back up. It's doing nothing at all except overheating the engine, so we'll just reset this. And then we're going to go to the next area over to our right. Now in this area, we have a bunch of ramp-like structures, although the first one we're doing is not a ramp, and neither is the second one. But all the ones after that, those are ramps, or stairs, which are just bumpy ramps. Anyways, over here, we have an arena we're going to be driving to, and we're going to see if I can stop right as I enter it. Oh, that's not bad. A little too fast, but just for a guess, that was pretty good. So we have an arena. It's curved to the center. And we have pretty good lips on the sides to make sure you wouldn't accidentally fall out, but I don't want to accidentally fall out. I want to intentionally fall out, so we're going to go ahead and just do that. You pick any side at all, and you can hop the side into the air and then down to the ground below. This is not the bottom grid that we crashed into earlier with the ETK series. This is just another area we could smash into. This is the one where we smashed the bus into, actually. Now that we made our way down, and look at that. We got a nice little roll going somehow. Sometimes the car just bounces in ways you don't expect. Like, you don't expect it to be able to just bounce along like that, but somehow it managed to. So the next thing we're going to be heading over to is, like I said, once again, not a ramp or a stairway, which, again, a stairway is just a bumpy ramp if you think about it. And every ramp is a little bit bumpy, right? So every ramp is a stairway. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyways, the thing I'm talking about, though, are these floating platforms that you can jump from one to the other, to the other, to the other. Now, right now, I am using no strategy at all to do this. I am just blindly jumping from one to the next, completely ruining the car in the process because I don't care how far down I get. I just want to demonstrate what it looks like because we're going to go ahead and try this one more time with a vehicle that's really, really good at this. And I figured out it was good by doing just a lot of testing. Accidentally backed that up a little too far because the first time I didn't do it far enough. I apologize for that. So I'll once again drive the pickle a little bit more to get it near the end of the platforms. This should be good. And I'm going to stop it with the back pointed towards the platform. This is all part of the plan. So now we're going to go ahead and grab a gravel D series, and we want a really long one like the D35 Chief Rancher. That's a nice long D series, which makes it a little bit more durable because we're going to be jumping off all the platforms in reverse and popping mean wheelies. That was a huge wheelie. Now, the reason we're doing it in reverse, though, is because the engine's in the front. The engine is a lot more fragile than the rear axle. So we let the rear axle take the damage while the engine is staying in good condition. We also have the long bed of the pickup truck, which is able to absorb some of the damage as well, which just allows us to go quite a ways down before the vehicle gets immobilized. Now, as far as I can tell, there is no way you're going to get any normal stock vehicle from the very top to the bottom in one try without doing some cheaty bits. Now, I'll show you the cheaty bits later on, but from what I can tell, you can maybe do it in 2 or 3 vehicles at the least, but you're not going to get it in one. That's almost certain because every time you do a jump, it just gets a little bit more damaged and a little bit more damaged, and eventually it's just going to reach the point where it's too damaged. You'll also notice I'm trying to go really fast on these. Feels like the faster you go, the flatter the truck flies, so you don't hit as harshly. All right, so right there, we just lost the exhaust. That is a bad sign. Usually after that happens, we got maybe 3 jumps or so left before the rear of the vehicle is going to break completely. So I'm saving the vehicle in the location. That way, I can come back to this to show you some of the cheaty things if it does break in this next impact. Because I've had it where sometimes the exhaust breaks and then right after, the rest of the vehicle breaks as well. Other times, it's lasted like up to 5 times, I think. So you really don't know for sure how much longer it's going to last. The one thing I do know, though, if the fuel tank ruptures, it's as good as gone on the next attempt. And this next jump we're doing, it looks really difficult because we have to go to an angle, but it's really not difficult at all because there's not a huge height variation between the 2 platforms. The next one, though, this one right here, this one does have a large variation between the 2 platforms. So I'm going to save the vehicle once more because I have a feeling this one has a good chance of ruining the truck. So let's see what happens here. Real hard landing, radiator leaking, fuel tank ruptured, but we can still drive. But I think I mentioned it earlier, when the fuel tank ruptures, the next one is going to kill it almost certainly, so we're saving it here once more. I know you're probably tired of me saving it, but I'm saving it so that way when we get a vehicle that's about to break, we can mess around with it. Is it going to break? Yes, rear drive shaft is broken, and at this point, it's really not worth trying. I'm almost certain this is going to go terribly, but I will give it a shot. I'll give it an honest attempt. We're going to go right to the edge, backing it up, and then going forward as fast as we can with only front-wheel drive, only about 21 miles per hour, which is enough to make it to the platform, but not enough to drag the truck through the air. Now stuck upside down, so we'll bring it back up here. We're going to load up the configuration, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the node grabber to kind of straighten out the whole rear of the truck a little bit. So now when it hits the platform, the back of the truck will be able to absorb the impact instead of the impact going straight to the rear axle of the vehicle, which is why the drive shaft broke. And it looks like that worked. You see, once again, though, the truck's bed is bent right back up in just one crash. So we can bend it back down once more, which is not the easiest thing to do. You see the truck bouncing all over the place as I do that. We can bend it and then go ahead and line it up so we can go off the platform and see if it, once again, saves it or not. So here we go. smacking in the platform, and yeah, that works great. So if you really want to get down the whole way using one vehicle, you could probably do it using a little bit of cheating like that, where you just smash the bed of the truck into shape if you wanted to, but I'm not going to bother with that. Instead, what if we went forward with this vehicle? Oh, we would still break the rear drive shaft. I guess the rear of the vehicle is just so beat up, a small impact like that will just dislodge the drive shaft to the point where it no longer works. And we just ran out of fuel. I was going to try to do the jump, but now we can't. We're completely out of gas. Now let's try to do this using a vehicle that's going to be really, really terrible for this. We're going to use the base version of an Ibishu Pigeon. I expect this thing to last 3 to 5 platforms. That's it. For all I know, it can only last 1 platform though. We're going to see what happens. So first attempt, and that actually worked. It didn't tip over. It still has some drivability. So next platform, here we go. This is platform number 2. Ooh, it is pulling hard to the left. I can barely keep this thing straight, but it made it and it's staying upright and it doesn't look that badly damaged. But again, that pulling to the side, really making it awkward to drive here. 3 platforms down. Can we make it past 5? If we make it past 5, that's actually quite amazing. Hardest part is just making sure we can drive straight enough from one platform to the next. Like, I gotta really make sure I work hard to make it go straight. Oh, just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going, Pigeon. Just keep going. We're gonna do this. Front wheel is destroyed. It's now just dragging itself along. It's going really slow. I can't go fast enough to make the jump. There is just simply no way. At least not when I'm trying to back up. Maybe we can kind of pop a wheelie and go a little faster going forward. And no, that's not happening. Pigeon's not going to make it. We're going to try, but I don't think there's any way it's going to make it. Yeah, not only did I have no steering because the wheel was obliterated, it also was going too slow to probably make it. Anyways, bringing it back up to that platform. We're going to keep on going through platform to platform until we get to the very, very bottom. And let's go with a more reasonable vehicle, but not like a really good vehicle. Like the police version of the Burnside Special. That's a decent vehicle that should be good for this. Although, is it fast enough in this little amount of space to make it from one platform to the next? I gotta make sure I use all of the space available to me so I can do the jumps. Let's see, here we go. All right, that wasn't so bad. It's definitely a little bit slower than the D35 Chief Rancher I was using earlier though. So backing it up. And then here we go. It is pulling a little bit to the right, not a lot. We're gonna go for a double. Can we make a double? Yes, we can. I really hate trying to do that because it is so easy to mess it up. But when you have a good opportunity like that, you gotta take it. You gotta take it. Even if you mess up, at least it looks cool as you try to do it. Here we go. Next ones. Let's just do it. Flat out the whole way. Flat out the whole way. Come on. Flat out the whole way. I know we kind of came to a complete stop, but I have not let up on the gas. Keep going. Burnside up. Drive shaft broke. And we can't even make it to the edge of the platform now. It's doing pretty good though. All right, since we have such a little space here, let's just use the most ridiculous one possible. We're going to use the Wentworth DT40L, and we're going to use the Hero, but I'm not going to like thrust a ton to really fly. That's just to make sure we have enough speed to get off the platform, because this thing is so long, we have like half a bus length to drive from one platform to the next, which I don't know if that'd be enough room to get up to speed normally. So we just kind of use the thrust to do that, and then let it fly normally like it's a regular bus. Accelerate some, accelerate some. The bus is actually really good for this with that extra thrust. Because what happens is it's so long, the front just gets beat up, but all the good stuff is in the rear. I do wonder, how far could we have made it using the bus? Let's do a little quick test, shall we? And also, like, where are we going to go? There's no platform anymore. Ah, that's where you're wrong. The platform is there all along. It's just from below, it's invisible. I don't know why. It just is, okay? So bring the bus back up, reset it, and we're just going to see how far can we go after it's done bouncing. And if this actually works really good, the only thing I have to worry about is running out of rocket fuel. First jump, nice and good. Second jump, also pretty good. It is beat up, but the rockets, they're basically indestructible unless they fall off the bus. So the engine's broken. I don't care. I don't need the engine. I have rockets attached to the bus that allow me to go instead. Although, actually, I should care. I can't back up. I didn't think about that. We can't steer very well because it's so beat up. So we can only go forward. And I try to go off the platform in the correct direction, but we just are so beat up I can't steer in that direction. And that's what happens to the bus. It becomes a pancake. A flat, dense pancake. Now, we have a little bit of a problem. This video so far has been running for about 20 minutes. And we still have all of the stairway ramp to go down. And there are quite a few of them. The thing is If I had to guess how long this would take, it would take another 20 minutes to do all of these. And I don't like making videos that are 40 minutes long because nobody got time to watch a 40-minute long video except a very small fraction of y'all. I'd much prefer to just make two 20-ish minute long videos. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing all of these stairway ramps in another video, as well as a couple other things that are still left around this map for us to be messing around with. But here's a quick preview of what that video will contain. But it's just a preview. You don't get to see it go down all the way. You want to see it go down all the way? You watch the next video. But I'm feeling really generous right now. So I'm going to also give you guys a preview of another area on this map that we haven't seen at all. Like, you've already seen the stairs a little bit before I dove down that one. But this area over here, it's so far away that I just haven't had a chance to show it off. So I want to go just a quick run at it so you can kind of see what it looks like. Also, on the way there, we have a suspension test. So how does the bus do driving on a suspension test at 130 miles per hour? Surprisingly well. It's just cruising along, no problem. It's getting pushed off the side a little bit, but that's okay. When we're going this fast, it's hard to stay going in a straight line. So here is the preview for the other thing. It is a giant funnel. And then, when we get to the bottom of the funnel, there's another interesting thing that happens. So we're going to get to the bottom in 3, 2, 1, and then boom! The bus just stands up like that now. Somehow they have it designed where when you fall out of the funnel, the vehicle will stand upright however it crashes. I thought that was kind of interesting looking. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Till next time, this is WhyBeAre. And remember, if you like or dislike this video, I will know. I can tell by counting the bumps on the bumpy stairway ramps. So do the right thing, and I'll see you next time.